everyone, Jake and Tevis here with Ticket Price Podcast. Just jumping in to let you know we're on Patreon. We finally did it. It took us longer than we thought. We're not very smart. But if you enjoy the show, check us out. $3 subscription cost. Can't beat that. With it, you're going to get early access to our episodes. You're going to get bonus content, as well as our community forum. Laugh, joke about the show, tell us how bad we are, share your favorite moments, but most importantly, give us recommendations for movies you want to hear us talk about. If we like it, we're going to do your movie. We're going to give you a shout out during the show as a thank you for giving us the idea. Thank you all for listening. Ticket Price Podcast at Patreon. Check us out. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whenever it is you're tuning in. Welcome to Ticket Price. I am your co-host, Jake. Sitting across the way is my co-host, the only man who in theater watched the movie Wonder and said that kid has a punchable face. Tevis at Master Control.
Jesus. What? You trying to get everybody to hate me?
Kinda, yeah. Well, you didn't like that one either?
Oh, that was good.
I can't, there's no pleasing you.
Yeah.
No, welcome to Ticket Price. We look at movies and we're like, are they good, bad, overhyped, underhyped? Is it worth the price of a ticket? So if you caught our last episode, you know that we're doing a movie named after Tevis's favorite band, Foreigner.
Foreigner's so terrible.
Name one Foreigner song.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah.
I'd have to
it.
Google it. I'd have to Google
Off
it.
the top of my head, I got nothing.
Yeah, me either.
Got nothing. But no, we're talking about the movie The Foreigner, Jackie Chan, Pierce Brosnan.
I'm not even going to lie. I didn't watch this movie.
We didn't watch Grumpy Old Men
No,
either, you
no.
bastard.
But I've seen this movie enough. I know what happens, so I can roll with it.
That's the professionalism
yeah,
you've all come to
yeah.
expect when you tune into Ticket Price.
I remember every moment that I loved between Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker.
We'll get to Rush Hour later. This is The Foreigner. Damn it. Now I can't remember what I was going to say. I'm so distracted by your Rush Hour show. Damn you, Chris Tucker. You son of a bitch. This is based off a story originally called The Chinaman. Probably a good idea they changed the name on that one.
Or that they cast Jackie Chan.
Okay, at least we have a Chinese character played by a Chinese actor. I feel like that's progress.
Yeah,
it's not Mickey Rooney in makeup anymore.
Oh, what was that? Breakfast at Tiffany's?
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh.
I could not, her landlord or some
That
shit.
was so awful.
Oh, that's what I was going to talk about when before we dove into this. You know, listening to our shows, because we talked about this a little bit off air. I listen to our shows to try to learn, like, what am I doing? What am I doing right, wrong? What I can do better?
All of it.
But in the first episode, we talk about how we're not going to break movies down scene by scene and do a summary. We're going to try to watch the language, keep it professional.
Oh,
and that is just so out the window. We have abandoned all of our core values that held this show up.
Yeah,
the only thing that we have remained consistent is whether we like a movie or hate a movie going into it, and afterwards, we're gonna be critical about it, and we're gonna be honest. So I guess the important one we've upheld.
Yeah, but even that, some of it I go into it, I'm like, man, I love this movie. I don't give a shit what anybody says in this movie. It's not going to change my mind.
Wait! You're now admitting to me and the audience that
fraud.
You're not even upholding the core tenet of our show. We have one rule.
There was only one movie I did that with, and it was The Thing.
Oh yeah, that's fair. I mean, I did my job and watched it critically. The window scene.
Yeah, okay. I guess I did kind of waver a few times during that movie when the guy in the helicopter digging for the grenade, but
fucking Norwegians. But no, I just wanted to point out our language, our professionalism. Yeah, we didn't even make it through that whole episode maintaining any of that. And I just wanted to mention that. I thought that was interesting / I hang my head in shame because, well, you know, we're not good at it.
We're learning.
That's true. What episode are we on?
I don't know.
Hold on. 1, 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Holy crap.
7. 5.
I don't know.
That would have been Grumpy Old Men.
I don't pay
You
any-
didn't watch that one
I
either.
don't pay any attention to this.
Yeah. No, we're on episode 7.
Congratulations if you made it this far.
Why?
All 3 people.
And 2 of them are me.
You have 2 different accounts you listen to us on.
Mind your business. Hey, this podcast isn't about me. It's about the foreigner.
Yes, get back on topic.
Okay.
Get back on topic.
The 2017. It's actiony, but it's also got political intrigue. Is it a thriller? How would you describe this movie?
Rambo meets the Presidio Mission Impossible type of, I don't know. There's a lot of the Bourne Identity espionage thing happening. What's that? Harrison Ford, Irish Devil's. God damn it.
Pithy as ever. Thank you.
I have it.
I'm so glad I threw the mic to you and
Okay, we got to start.
asked you. No, we can't start over just because you mush mouth it up. It's this action thriller movie, screenplay by David Marconi and Stephen Leather, and Mr. Leather. Also, that's one of my accounts on a different website, Mr. Leather. But no,
Your OnlyFans?
we've talked about this. My wife won't let me do OnlyFans, even though I would make all the money.
You could wear a mask. Nobody would know it was you.
I'm huggable. No, Stephen Leather. He wrote The Chinaman, which again, I gotta feel like changing the name was a good call.
Yeah, even when they mentioned that, they said that a few times in the movie, I was like, ugh, dang.
Yeah, right? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, that Chinaman's here. And you go, ugh.
Yeah.
Why? Who says?
Other than my father, I don't know who else would have made that.
Yeah, but your father also helped. He was a foreman when they were building the Transcontinental Railroad. He had to work with all them Chinamen.
He was damn good at his job.
Man, I can't wait till when we get to Blazing Saddles.
God. Yeah. No.
Oh, okay, back to the foreigner. Not the Chinaman, the foreigner, which is only slightly better, let's be real. I have opinions on that, but we'll get into it when it becomes relevant. Directed by Martin Campbell, starring the amazing, the incomparable, the legendary Jackie Chan.
He is fantastic in
everything.
Everything I've ever seen him in. He's such a good presence.
And then I like him, and I don't know if he gets all the dues that he deserves, but co-starring with Jackie is Pierce Brosnan.
I have a love-hate relationship with Pierce Brosnan.
You love to hate him?
I love everything he's been in except the Bond movies.
Yeah.
I hate the Bond movies that he's in.
But the Bond movies aren't his fault.
No.
Like,
no.
he's a good Bond. Those are just bad movies.
Was he a good Bond, though?
He's not the worst Bond.
Who's the worst Bond?
In Face Punch McGee, who, what's his name? Roger Moore?
Oh, yeah.
Which one of them wasn't an actor, lied about being an actor, got on set? He was like, yeah, I can totally stage fight. And then he, broke a stuntman's nose. And the director was like, ha, 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 that's just what James Bond would do. I'm an asshole, too. And hired him.
Yeah, I forgot about Roger Moore. So, okay, never mind.
So Pierce Brosnan is not the worst James Bond.
But no, I really like Pierce Brosnan as far as in everything else. He's very, very good.
Mrs. Doubtfire?
Yeah, honestly, yeah. He was kind of an asshole in that, but
Yeah.
he was the best part of Black Adam.
I haven't seen that movie for obvious reasons.
I would watch it just for him.
Well, we'll probably have to watch it again thanks to this podcast.
I took
I'm
the
not
name
looking
out.
forward to it.
I
Oh,
took
good.
I took it out of the hat.
I am not looking forward to when we rip the Band-Aid off all these comic book movies. And I like most of them. But I have a feeling I won't like them if I have to watch them for this show.
If you have to actually judge them by their quality.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got the same.
Some are
fear.
going to rate very, very high, like Captain America Winter Soldier.
Yes.
And some aren't, like Thor 2 Dark World or any of the Iron Man trilogy. I said it. Come at me, nerds.
Back to the foreigner. What are we talking about?
We're talking about the foreigner.
We're talking about the foreigner.
Well, technically, we're talking about Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, and
That
then we
sexy man.
transition into all the superhero movies that we hate.
So Pierce Brosnan is an example, that you talk about like guys who don't age. Pierce Brosnan has clearly aged, but he's aged so well. It's not that he hasn't aged, but he's just such a fine wine.
Yeah, when we first see him in this movie, he's in bed shirtless, and it's like, damn, dude, you look better than I do. Which
Well,
is not
I mean,
hard. I mean, I I got some
you're bold.
questionable egg
You're.
salad in my refrigerator that looks better than I do.
I was gonna say. I mean, are you bold of you even in the way you've done it
Yeah.
to for any reason compare yourself physically to Pierce Brosnan?
Yeah, but isn't he like 77 years old?
Oh, he's not that
Oh,
old.
come on, I bet he is.
Look, all right. Well,
Where's my phone?
yeah, Master Control. Look up how old Pierce Brosnan is. Okay, going into this movie's ratings while you look up Pierce Brosnan's age. IMDb gives it a 7 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, 66%. Right out of the gate, I feel like IMDb is probably right on. Rotten Tomatoes, I feel like that's low. I do. I just do. I feel like that's low. Maybe I'm wrong, though. If I'm wrong, you guys can tell me on our Patreon, in the forums. Hit us up. Budget, movie was made for an estimated $35 million. Worldwide gross, $145.4 million. That's pretty good. That's
Yeah, good take home.
almost 4 times your money. That's a good day.
Would you like to know what I found out?
I'm surprised you found out anything
Yeah.
based on your history of this show of looking things up.
He's 70 years old.
No way.
Yeah.
He's 70 years old?
Yeah, 70 years old. So at the time of that movie,
So he would have been 65.
yeah, you look good.
He looked damn good.
I'd him.
Well, I mean, OnlyFans. Hit us up on Patreon if you think Tevis should try to engage in an intensely physical relationship with Pierce Brosnan. That's what we're here for. This movie had 1 award nomination, but it was super minor. I didn't get into it because the super minor awards, we just don't.
We'd be here all day.
Reviews, our friends at ebert.com, which again, we talked about this before. It's important to note that this movie came out in 2017. Ebert is dead, but he still has his website up and running with other people posting their movie reviews, which is weird to me.
It's weird to me too. It's not like Roger Ebert created a product that we use. His product was his thoughts.
Right.
And to keep his name attached to that is just...
It's weird.
It's weird to me,
It's weird.
yes.
But hey, nonetheless, they gave it 1 star, calling it a turgid revenge thriller and an all-around lousy movie.
That is a terrible review. A 1 star?
I'd have to check my notes. That might be our worst review from Ebert or Ebert.com. Hashtag not actually Ebert.
Yeah, and Roger Ebert died in April of 2013.
You look that up or you just know that?
No, I looked that up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I don't have just this obituary list in my head.
Yeah, as far as our Ebert-based reviews, The Foreigner is our lowest one to date.
That's really harsh.
Yeah.
That's really harsh.
Now, this one I changed it up. Rolling Stones Magazine, which if you've heard our podcast before, you know that Rolling Stones Magazine and I don't play nice together because they're the worst. However, they gave it a 3-star review, saying Jackie Chan is still the man in his most dramatic role, and he plays it with coiled intensity and raw emotional power.
Don't know if I agree with that.
Really?
Really. I feel like he had one very emotional moment in that whole runtime, but most of it he was just, I don't know, just kind of played it dull. Like sad old man.
We are going to have a hell of a conversation for the next hour because I disagree with you so hard right now.
Okay.
Join us on Patreon as we have bonus content of I beat the shit out of Tevis.
We're having a cage match.
All right. So, as always, history with this movie.
I remember seeing it when it came out. I didn't see it in the theater. I remember watching it on DVD or whatever. I thought I had watched the whole thing all the way through and just didn't remember the ending. But once I got past the point that I remembered, I know I didn't watch this whole thing because I was confused. I'm like, why don't I remember any of this? But I was like, no, I don't think I ever watched all of it.
Oh, okay. So first,
I hit stop and then just never restarted.
For a second, when you were like, I was confused, I'm glad you followed that up with, you were confused about your memories of this movie beforehand, because I was going to sit here and go, this movie's not that hard to follow.
No, I understand that. But yeah, I mean, I remember being super excited about it. And I always kind of was wondering how they were going to inject the Jackie Chan-ness of his moves and his, his skill set into this drama, basically.
Would you say he has a particular set of
He
skills?
does have a particular set of skills.
I watched this movie one time before now. This was a couple years ago. So I think the movie, I want to say 2020 for some reason. My wife and I saw it on Netflix or Amazon, whatever we
Probably
saw
because
it
you were
on.
locked in your house and you just watched all the movies.
And we played all the Ark Survival Evolved for all of my dino wrangling brothers and sisters out there. Played a lot of Ark. Only game my wife has ever sat and played for multiple hours at a time.
Never played it. I can't say
That's-
good or bad about
You're
it.
too busy drunk playing Dead by Daylight.
Hell yes. Drunk by daylight.
Drunk by Daylight. But no, we saw, Jackie Chan, Pierce Brosnan, and then the little summary or the snippet they give you to sell you, to hook you in. And we went, oh, a revenge thriller with Jackie Chan and Pierce Brosnan? Hell yeah, we'll watch that. And then we did, and we both went, man, that was really good. But hadn't watched it since, so went into it. I have a pretty good memory, so there wasn't anything I had forgotten, but it was a nice refresher.
Yeah, I definitely went into this movie with no previous, expectations. Oh,
Mhm.
I love this movie. I hated this movie. I went into it with, it's a Jackie Chan movie.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
But see, I think if you go into it with, oh, it's a Jackie Chan movie, I think you're going to be surprised.
I think you'll be disappointed.
What? Really?
I mean, as far as the amount of the Jackie Chan skills that you get in this movie are very minimal
Oh, I get what you're saying.
compared to movies like Rumble in the Bronx or
The Drunken Master.
The Drunken Master,
or-
Police Story,
Yeah.
even Rush Hours.
Yeah. Well, this isn't that movie.
No, exactly. And that's what I was wondering about when Jackie Chan was cast in this. I'm like, how is he going to do his skills? Because he's kind of a funny dude. He's a pretty funny guy.
Yeah.
It's like he's not going to be able to do that slapsticky kind of action in this. And it can't be over the top cartoony like he can be sometimes.
Right. But you know what? At the end of the day, and this movie, I think, for me, proves that Jackie Chan is an actor. And he acts his ass off in this movie. And it's great.
He has his moment.
Oh, okay.
He has his moment.
So, okay. Movie opens. We're just diving into it. I can't stand here looking at your face. I can't even look at your face right now.
Now it's the scene by scene breakdown.
No, we said we weren't going to do. And now here we are doing it.
So Pierce Brosnan is topless, laying in bed. No, anyway.
No, that's the scene you remember.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
talking about, when we're introduced to Jackie Chan, he's sitting in his car, he's picking his daughter up from high school. They're having a conversation. Sounds like getting ready for prom.
Right.
It was kind of the gist I got. I wrote a note here, though. As soon as you see Jackie Chan sitting in that car, as he gets older, he just looks more kindly and huggable. Like when you just look at that kindly, huggable old man. Like,
yeah, he does. He looks like the little Chinaman that would run a.
Whoa!
That's what he is. That's what he is.
What? Right. I wasn't even going race now. Just like, oh man, so huggable.
Well, that's what he also plays on that too. Is that cute little meek Asian man?
Keep bringing race into it.
I know. I mean, the movie is named The Foreigner.
That's true.
So,
That's
and
true.
the book, hello. So, I'm not the one bringing race into it. They are.
Mr. Leather.
Mr. Leather.
It's come up a couple of times. Let's just go there.
Okay.
The movie is called The Foreigner, except when Jackie Chan's character Quan is talking to the head of the investigation. I forget his name. Not Pierce Brosnan, the other guy.
Yeah, the racist guy.
Yeah, the guy who's like, the damn Chinaman's here again or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Quan clearly states that he immigrated to England in like the 80s.
Yeah, like
and
84.
is a British citizen. He's not a goddamn foreigner.
I thought that too.
He's a citizen of your country.
Yeah, and they keep just banging
And they're
on
like
him
these
about being Chinese.
goddamn foreigners taking our gerbs. Not like, what is happening? This, this touches back on The Shining too, of the old caretaker saying the N-word. I'm like, why is this old British man racist? Is racism more rampant in Britain than I've been led to believe? I thought they were higher evolved in their society than we were as brutish Americans.
Apparently
Why are
not.
they so racist?
Apparently not.
If you're black, if you're Asian, get ready to hear some words, I guess.
Well, that guy was black.
Yeah, he was. And he
So-
hates the Chinese
And he hates
people.
the Chinese.
Well, I'm just saying, Quan is a citizen and has been for decades.
I don't get it.
I don't know why that irked me as much as it did, but I wanted to bring it up. Now, I get it that they were like, well, this is called The Chinaman, which, A, it shouldn't have been.
No.
Because why? There's 1,000 things you call this movie. So they're like, okay, we got to tweak it. So they tweaked it to The Foreigner, which is less offensive, but more wrong. Like factually wrong.
Factually wrong, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because Quan is a Chinese immigrant who obtained citizenship. So Chinaman, while a slur, is still technically, he is a Chinese man.
But he doesn't look like them, so that's why.
Well, yes, that is how racism
I
works.
know.
Yeah, okay.
I just didn't know if you knew.
Well, thank you for explaining racism to me.
Hey, I'm here all week.
Now I'm just, God, and people wonder why I'm just like a reclusive shut-in and I don't talk to people because the world sucks and there's no reason to go outside. Back to The Foreigner, though.
Isn't this the part where he talks about his 2 daughters that were killed?
By Thai pirates.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then his wife, he asked him where his wife was. And
Yeah.
how did his wife die?
He said that she died while giving birth to Fawn. Fawn being the daughter who dies in the explosion we're about to get to.
Okay.
Spoilers.
I rewound that part like 3 or 4 times when he's talking about it because I could not understand what he said. And that makes me feel like a racist.
Well, it's because you are. Well, great. Now I'm doing a podcast with a belligerent racist.
But I even thought about turning on subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I told you. I found this movie on YouTube, and it had Portuguese subtitles.
Wait, you're not fluent in Portuguese?
Not anymore.
Read a
Not
book.
Since, not since the head injury.
Learn a language. Read a book, you savage. No, I'm going to use one of your terms, you savage.
I knew that was coming around.
Yeah,
I'm not on an Arctic base.
I was gonna
Okay.
say, this goes back to why would they learn Norwegian? Do something with your time. Do something with your time, Tevis. Learn a language, predominantly Portuguese, so you can read your subtitles
I can watch so many more movies for free.
and understand what's going on. But no, you brought up an interesting point. You are a racist, and I hope you feel that way. So Quan is with his daughter. They're talking about prom, and she's got a boyfriend, maybe.
You don't trust a boyfriend.
And well, you and I are fathers to daughters, so no, we don't trust boyfriends.
No, never will.
Because men are the worst.
Men are the worst.
As a man, men are the worst.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know. Except some men are worse than others. You're racist.
Stop fucking me.
I'm a white man. Don't look at me like that. You're racist. But while outside an ATM, they're going to go do something. Bomb goes off. Holy shit, that wire stunt Jackie does.
You don't think that was a stunt double?
I looked it up because my notes say, I hope to God Jackie is using a stuntman.
No, I'm
He was
sure he wasn't.
He was 62 when this movie
And
came
I'm
out.
sure he didn't use a stuntman.
Not
for
a
any of it.
single one. That is all him.
That doesn't surprise me.
Because it's Jackie. And I'm like, Jackie, no!
Yeah.
I don't want you to get hurt, Jackie. I know you can do it. But please don't. You don't have to anymore.
You just don't want him to get hurt so we can finally get Rush Hour 4.
Man, after 3, I don't know. But we'll get there when we get there. But no, it's like when Stone Cold Steve Austin came back for that match at WrestleMania versus Kevin Owens. And I'm like, man, I'm glad Stone Cold is medically cleared to wrestle. But I don't know if I want him to wrestle because of all of his very well documented medical issues.
Back issues,
and I'm
spine
like,
issues.
I do not want to see Stone Cold get hurt. and it's not worth it. I want to see Stone Cold not get hurt so bad. It makes me not want to see him in another match.
Just listen to his podcast. That's all we need, Stone Cold. Just do your
Thank
podcast.
you. Yeah. Just talk to Mick Foley and I'm happy.
Yeah, over and over and over
Someone else I don't want to see in a goddamn wrestling match. Not that he's done one recently, but Mick, stop. Please, for the love of God, just do your podcast, hang out with your family, be Santa Claus. I'm fine with that.
So, what movie are we doing?
I don't know, something about foreigners and
Okay.
Asian people building a railroad. I don't know. Something racist. So, my next note here. Face glass. The scene after the bomb where Jackie's face is just embedded with glass, and it's just me going, "Oh my God!"
I bet you that was real glass. I bet he's just like, load this shotgun full of glass shards and just blast me in the face with it.
I've seen less body horror in a goddamn Hellraiser movie than the reaction I got from the face glass. Horrifying.
If this was an AEW match, they would have used real glass.
Cry me a river. You little dweeb. And that statement goes to almost anybody in AEW. You know what? We alienate people all the time. AEW wrestlers and fan base, come at us, nerds. I know none of you can take me in a fight. I've seen you fucking wrestle. And you're bad at it. Jack Perry, Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, fuck the lot of you. You know, you're lucky you went and started shit with CM Punk and he just beat you up a little bit. I'll end you.
Welcome to Ticket Price, where we're a wrestling podcast.
We're a wrestling podcast now.
We just like to keep you on your toes. We change it up from time to time. Tune in next week where we talk about Funko Pops.
Oh, don't get me started on Funko Pop. So, Kwan's daughter dies. And I imagine this is the one scene you're talking about where we get emotion from him. It's when he's holding his daughter.
No.
So wait, you're saying he played the holding his daughter scene crying as just a sad old man and it's real dull?
No, okay. Honestly, I forgot about that part.
You forgot about the catalyst for the entire movie!
Oh, no, I remember her dying and I remember him holding her, but the part that I'm talking about that was when he was talking about his wife and his kids, 2 daughters dying previously. When he delivered that line that I couldn't understand, the way he delivered it, he was very, very emotional.
Yeah.
And I thought...
Yeah, that's the reason.
I was like, well, that's why I couldn't understand him.
Sure it
is. So emotional.
Yeah, that's his emotions. Got it. Then we find out that the bombing is claimed by a sub-faction of the IRA.
The authentic IRA.
Well, that would be the specific sub-faction, yes. The authentic IRA. I don't pretend to know anything about anything, but IRA activity in 2017? Is that a reach? And this is a genuine question. I have no idea. People who listen, hit us up on Patreon and educate me, because I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I can't tell you the last time I have heard anything about the IRA.
I think the Cranberry song Zombies was the last time I heard about any of that conflict.
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing on that.
Got nothing. So I'm like, I don't know if this is a stretch or not. Maybe it's still a very hot, but I know depending on where you are in Ireland, you're either pretty pro or anti-crown and all that. And
I wonder if that was taken straight from the book or if they changed the organization somehow, or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but I just like, okay, it was claimed by the authentic IRA, and I was like, if that's weird or not. So I wrote it down because I was unsure in case it is weird. Because I was watching the movie and I was taking my notes, doing my job. Oh God, he's got his phone out, ladies and gentlemen. He's gonna spend the next 20 minutes looking something up and not gonna find it.
Yeah, but when I edited it, it's like I did it lightning quick.
So then, with the death of his daughter, Kwan is then going out to anyone in the government, anyone in the law enforcement, wanting answers, and rightly so, as to why his daughter is dead and who is responsible. And he just keeps asking. He's bribing government officials. He's asking anyone, Just give me the names. Can you give me the names? Who killed my daughter? I want names.
And Pierce Brosnan legitimately doesn't know.
Right.
But
he knows something,
Yeah.
which we haven't gotten to.
But even rewatching this, knowing what I did know about it, I was still kind of like, man, is Jackie Chan kind of being overly aggressive to this guy? Because how does he know that he knows? I
Well,
know you know that I know that you know
that he knows.
that he knows.
But how does he know that you know that I know that he knows that he knows that you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. But actually, that I have this in a note later on in the movie, but we're here now, so I'll just talk about it. It hasn't even come up in the movie yet. Jackie Chan's character, Quan, he escaped with his family. Then Thai pirates attacked. Then he lost his 2 daughters. Then he and his wife get away after both being shot. And they come to the United States for a little bit, where he fights in Vietnam and receives special forces training. Quan is not only more physically imposing than his meek frame would suggest, but he's a lot sharper than anyone gives him credit for, and he uses that against them. He knows that he looks like this simple, unassuming man, and he lets people assume that.
Yes, he does that hard.
And it works.
It works.
I think, is he going too hard on Pierce Brosnan's character, Liam Hennessy? But I think already at that point, Quan has figured out enough to know that this son of a bitch
knows something.
He knows enough to point me in the right direction, right? Even if he doesn't have the specific names like he's asking for. And as we find out in the movie, he 100% could have been like, look, you're going to want to go talk to this guy. And by talk to this guy, I mean whatever you want to do to him. Because Pierce Brosnan is the bad guy.
Yeah. And I didn't want Pierce Brosnan to be the bad guy.
Me neither. To be honest, I didn't. And the thing is, he's not the main antagonist, right? He kind of fills that role, but when you really look at the story as a whole for what it is, he's not the main antagonist.
No, he's kind of caught in the middle of trying to keep hold of his power, and
because he is like the Irish liaison in the British government.
Right.
But he's also the head of like the old IRA power base, because they have that meeting where it's all the heads of the different groups and whatever.
And he's just tearing them up.
Yeah, because he can. That's his position.
And he was playing that so awesome, man. I love that
so
part.
Good. Yeah.
I love that part.
He just brings that fire, and you're like, hell yeah.
Yeah, very much.
But we learn throughout the movie that he okayed the original bombing, the one that killed Quan. However,
Quan's daughter.
Yeah, the one that killed Quan. Yeah, if Quan died, this would be a different movie.
It'd be a ghost story.
Well, we are getting on to Halloween. Ooh, I see dead Chinamen. It was right there. It was right there. I always go for low-hanging fruit. I was right there. I couldn't help myself. Oh. And we lost our 3 listeners, 2 of which are me. But no, the explosion that kills Quan's daughter, we learn that Liam Hennessy okayed the bombing, but the original plan was that it was to be a financial target when no one was around. There were to be 0 casualties in any way, shape, or form. Then the authentic IRA, quote unquote, were like, no, we want to leave our own message. And they turned it into a bloodbath.
That's part of the movie that kind of lost me a little bit, was their motivation, I guess you would want to say. I had a hard time following all of it with all the political back and forth, and that is probably one of my least favorite parts of the movie. But it's a necessity. It's a
necessity. Let me help you out here. You got it? But no, I get what you're saying, but
it's a necessary part of the movie.
Nailed it. First try.
Damn, I'm good.
But I do think that comes from being we being an American audience who aren't, I can't even say well versed, who aren't versed at all with the violence and the politics of the underlying issue this movie is built on.
Oh, yeah, 100% on that. Like, it
So
made me feel
stupid.
stupid
Yeah.
and realize just how small of presence I am in this world. Like, I'm
Wait, I didn't realize this movie was going to give you an existential
oh,
crisis.
it did. Like, I'm like, what? I don't know about any of this shit. Like any of the politics on this side. I don't know that much about the IRA and all the Irish issues that they were having.
Right. Like I know like the most basic general like bullet point kind of stuff about it, but yeah, to actually know the nitty-gritty and to follow the nuance that they're going into with the history, I couldn't keep up.
Yeah, that made me feel really dumb.
But the context was there.
Yeah, and by the end of the movie, I was like, okay, I kind of can follow, piece it all together. But just keeping track of everybody's plays, I was like, I would make a terrible politician. I 100% would.
Yes, this is why you would be a terrible politician.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't be able to follow anything that they're talking about. I'd be like, what the hell?
And now the senator from Ticket Price, Tevis, what do you think about the current situation? What the hell is anyone talking about?
I'd be like, are we talking about the current situation of Dead by Daylight? Because I love that they added this new character.
What are your thoughts on Wesker?
Have we got to the part where he blows up the bathroom with those 2 bottles of piss?
It's clearly juice or something. It wasn't piss, just because he was in a bathroom.
What was it? What was in those bottles?
Juice or something.
He blows up a bathroom with 2 bottles of juice
or something.
Was
I have been saying or something this whole or soda or some kind of, I don't know. Remember, because they were like, we checked his bag, it has groceries in it.
Yeah, but
and
it's
then you
just-
see him working on it, and he sets down 2 glass soda bottles.
Yeah, but there's something in that bottle. There's something in the bottle.
Presumably soda or juice or something.
I want to know what juice blows up a bathroom like that.
Join us on Patreon
Is
as
it
we try
Taco
to
Bell juice? Like,
bonus content for our Patreon subscribers. We're going to attempt to blow up Tevis's bathroom with juice. See if we can recreate the bomb from The Foreigner. But no, so yeah, that's when he goes and corners Liam Hennessy, and he's like, just give me the names. I'm holding you responsible. And again, I think he's doing this because he has pieced enough of the puzzle together to know Liam Hennessy, Pierce Brosnan, this son of a bitch knows something, and he will tell me what I want to know. And so, yeah, then he MacGyvers a bomb up in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I wrote here, this is some MacGyver shit.
There was a lot of that. A lot of the MacGyver, Rambo shit going on.
And I was into it.
I was too.
Yeah.
I was
Because
too.
I liked MacGyver. And that's when I would watch all those Wilford Brimley diabetes commercials. MacGyver was an American hero.
I love MacGyver.
I can see the look on your face. Don't even start.
I love MacGyver. I hate that he went on to do Stargate SG-1 or whatever that was.
Yeah, but isn't that role is partly why he got that that award? Remember, he got that little medal.
The Razzie?
No, he got a medal about like a civilian service to the military because he always is playing like a high profile but pro-American.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. Richard Dean Anderson did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no idea. I stopped following the career of Richard Dean Anderson.
Well, that's your loss, my friend.
After he got rid of the mullet, I was like, I'm out.
That's fair, but Richard Dean Anderson, if you listen to this show, you let us know. And we'll have you on so we can just do a whole deep dive retrospective of your career. And I would enjoy that immensely.
And we'll do a deep dive into MacGyver, and then that's it. We're over.
Well, I didn't realize I was doing this show with Patty and Selma Bouvier. That's a hot Simpsons reference. You don't watch The Simpsons,
I don't.
so you're not going to get it. But our 3 audience members, 2 of which are me, will
they're going to love them.
They're going to love that joke. Quan, going back to The Foreigner, Quan is like, give me the names. Liam is like, I don't know them. Fuck off. Jackie Chan blows a bathroom up.
Yeah, and then he calls him on the phone, and I love this. He calls him on the phone, and he's like, "Give me the names," and then threatens him and hangs up. And Pierce Brosnan goes, "He fucking threatened me and then hung up. Fucking Chinaman."
Doesn't he call him a wanker in there?
I don't know. I
Something
don't
like
know.
that? But also, okay, this is how you know Pierce Brosnan's character is like hardcore IRA back in the day. That bomb explodes. Dude barely blinks. Everyone else is like, what the shit? His secretary's all freaking out. He's like, motherfucking bomb's going off in my bathroom.
Yeah, he knew. He
He
knew.
knew. And he's so used to it. And he's just like, man, son of a bitch. I just repainted that thing.
Yeah, he did not repaint anything.
Well, he had it
Yeah,
repainted.
yeah, probably by his wife.
Oh, we'll get to her. I think we're kind of there.
Um,
Well, let's get it. Sexy, shirtless Pierce Brosnan as, Liam Hennessy in the beginning.
yeah,
He's definitely
that's not his wife.
cuddled up to an attractive young lady in bed. Yep, that's super not his wife. In fact, his wife calls him while they're cuddled up, which is always awkward for those of you who have been cuddled up with your lover, only for your spouse to call. Awkward stuff. But no, that was not his wife.
No, not at all.
Not your wife, Liam Hennessy. Go home.
Yeah. So right off the bat, you can tell he's a quality guy.
So his wife calls. We're not going to scene by scene this movie because, we promised people back in episode 1 we weren't going to. She is a hardcore IRA fanatic and wants blood spilled and is banging her nephew. Now, to be clear, Sean,
It was incest.
I believe the young man's name in the movie is Sean.
Yeah, Sean.
Is by blood Liam Hennessy's nephew. They are nephew and aunt by marriage.
So it's incest adjacent.
It's incest adjacent.
It's
like what Woody Allen did. It's incest adjacent.
We need
it's
to
not direct bloodline.
Let's get Woody Allen in here and have him talk to us about this. Just this one particular scene.
It's you, me, Woody Allen, Richard Dean Anderson.
Richard Dean Anderson does not need to be on the incest talk show.
He might be very insightful. I don't know. Well, it's not incest. It's incest adjacent.
Yes, but she specifically, with her robe, the shoulder strap down, looks at him in the mirror and is like, "What would my nephew be doing here?" or whatever she said. But she specifically says, "My nephew."
Yeah,
And
she does call him my nephew, and I'm like, that's worse. You're making it worse. Like, you would think if you're gonna do that, right, you would want to distance your family connection as much as you can, right? Like, because at the end of the day, there's no blood relation. You've got a young man, you've got an older woman, they're attracted to each other, and they're gonna do, adult escapades, right? I don't know why I phrased it like
adult escapades.
adult escapades. So you think you would want to bury that connection as deep as
something.
he was burying something. It's not that deep. I mean, he's Irish. Coming at you, our Irish audience friend. We got our Norwegian fans being dumb and digging for grenades in the snow.
That's my problem. I'm part Irish.
I'm not saying you're wrong. But, yeah, so, okay, Patreon, jump on the forums. We've got the pig-bear debate. Now we can have incest or incest adjacent. Yeah. What's your guys' stance on this?
Creepy or no?
There was an argument for no until she's just like, oh, what is my nephew here as I tweak my nipple? Like, no, now it's weird. Now it's weird. Why? Mr. Leather, why? Why?
I wonder if that was, I'm going to have to get this book.
Your homework assignment. Yeah. You barely watched the movie. Now you're going to...
I'm just going to buy the book to find the incest scene and narrow it down once and for all and find out if it actually happens.
I don't believe...
Because they don't actually do it in the movie.
No, they get interrupted.
Yeah.
But I feel like the...
By her husband on the phone.
Who wasn't with his tart for once.
Yeah. For one time, he's unplugged from his tart
Unplugged. Now, I'll tell you right now, Pierce Brosnan plugs in deep.
Him and Scatman.
Oh, 100%. No one plugs like Scatman. Scatman plugs. And I'm so distracted now because it's just such a weird moment, right? But it still plays an important role, though, in the overall story. Because at this point in time, Liam Hennessy, Liam Neeson, not in this movie at all. No, Liam Hennessy. I'm not gonna. As soon as I say the name Liam Neeson, not
Yeah.
even just during right now in my life, because it's never just Liam. It's Liam Neeson
You mean you've never said Liam
without Neeson.
Helmsworth?
Who?
Isn't that Chris Helmsworth brother's name? Liam?
Oh yeah, but no one gives a shit about
Yeah,
him.
I don't know anything he's been in.
You mean fake Geralt?
Oh God, I forgot that he's taking over.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's gonna go straight to DVD.
You almost said VHS.
Almost did.
I saw your mouth go to move like you were going to say V. And I'm like, he's about to say straight to VHS. We have 3 listeners. I guarantee one of them does not know what you're talking about. The other 2 do, though, because they're me. I'm out there right now, boys. But no, the incest adjacent scene still has an overall story purpose, though. Because at this point in time, Liam Hennessy shares with his nephew Sean that there's a plan involved. The next time the authentic IRA goes to use a bomb, they're going to use a code word. But Hennessy has changed all the code words and given all the Irish bosses, different ones. And only he knows who has what code word. So when the code word's given, he knows the bastard who's going behind his back. While the adult escapades were kicking off, Sean mentions that there's a plan involving changed code words to the aunt. So then she tips off who she's working with to not use code words.
And that confused me too. Why would they be using code words? And this goes back to this movie kind of making me feel stupid because nothing to do with the movie, but just my own ignorance.
Well, I took it as something like, okay, we're set up to do the mission. We need that final go-ahead. The go-ahead is the code word.
Okay, that makes
So it's like permission almost.
Okay, that makes sense.
But once they get their code word, oh, guess what? We changed all the code words. So now there's no that. Well, it could be one of 12. No, you all have different ones, Which why wouldn't you do that in the first place? If you're leading these assholes or any assholes, why would you leave room for them to hide and go behind your back? And also, as we're sitting here talking about it, it's dawned on me that in my head canon as to why the code words exist is probably wrong. But it works for me.
Hey, at least you got something. I'm just like, huh?
Yeah, we've worked together.
Yeah. It's not wrong. Did we pass the house fight?
We're all over the place. We have not
think we
followed
have.
any logical. Maybe this is why we summarize movies scene by scene, because it keeps us more on track.
That's true.
So the bathroom explodes. Quan does his MacGyver, blows up Liam Hennessy's bathroom. Liam Neeson's bathroom, totally fine.
Totally
Liam
fine.
Hennessy's bathroom explodes.
Liam Hemsworth, nobody gives a shit about your bathroom.
Who? Maybe you would know me by my other name. Geralt.
Miley Cyrus.
Who? Let's assume I'm old enough that none of these names mean anything to me. Hennessy is like, he's a fucking Chinaman. And I'm using his words here, because you're the only racist in this room.
Right. I was like, don't take my role.
And we're in the middle of Belfast. He's not going to be hard to track down. Have everyone looking for a 60-something Asian man. And when you know it, they find him immediately. They find Jackie Chan immediately.
That old woman gives him up.
Yeah.
She's just like, nope, I ain't having this shit. Come and get him.
Yeah, because, to Americanize it as best I can, it would be the equivalent of 20 Chicago. And the mafia wants to know where the hell this troublemaker is. Right?
Yeah. I get
and so they're in Little Italy, and everyone's like, oh, well, yeah, he's over there. Right?
Yeah. He stands out pretty hard.
Right. And obviously, everyone there is also going to be working with the established order of the mafia to find this guy. if I were to try to Americanize it, that is my best attempt. Does that make sense, Tev?
It does. But this is the part where we get our first taste of Jackie Chan's set of skills.
4 goons
4 of the goons, yeah.
are there with orders to rough him up and throw him out of Belfast. And to, I believe, what does Bronson say? Make sure he never comes back. It's not a kill order.
Right. Yeah, he makes that clear. Like, it's just take him out of town, persuade him not to come back.
Persuade him to not come back. And so then the fight kicks out. And man, Jan at this moment in time, 62 years old, has not lost a beat.
It's so fun to watch. Every minute of that.
It's stair fall. And I'm like, Jackie, no.
Oh,
Don't fall on stairs.
Stair fall. The one where he kicked that guy out of the attic hole.
Yeah. Right in the attic hole.
When I said the words attic hole, I knew I would regret
it. Instant regret. Instant regret as soon as he said attic hole.
But yeah, every moment of that fight, when he gets knocked off the roof and grabs that pole and slides down, I was like, oh my God, please.
Classic Jackie Chan stuff. But no, then he just ends up just beating down these 4 guys, to which even then later on, when they report back that they lost him, and Pierce Brosnan's like, there's fucking 4 of you.
And he still underestimates him.
Jeez, I went to do something. I hit the microphone, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize, as Tevis is now losing his mind. I blame Tevis, right?
I thought it was going to go straight up your nose.
We're in a new studio. I had a stool earlier. I didn't even have a chair. I got demoted to a stool. I'm in a foreign environment, and I'm freaking out.
It was a Star Wars stool, though. It was cool.
That way I could just sit on stormtroopers like everyone else does.
Yeah.
So, but is that when 2 of the goons are going to bring Hennessy's car around?
Oh, the bomb.
They find that it's rigged with a bomb.
Yeah, but it's not really.
The bomb is real, but he didn't actually rig it into the gas tank so it would explode. He made a bomb to show that I can make bombs, asshole.
Yeah.
And then he set it in a way so he knew it would be found. And even if it didn't get found, it wouldn't go off, and then they would find it later. What just a straight badass move of just like, it's not even for show. Like, I made a full bomb to let you know that I could have killed you. He could have just put wires, right? He could have just had the wires. And then they're like, oh God, there's wires. There's a bomb. Oh no, it's just wires. No, he's like, no, I'm just going to make a full bomb.
Yeah. So, yep, I can do this. And you're lucky I didn't finish the job.
Had a juice or something. Juice bomb.
He even mentions on the farm that he underestimated him, but he did it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And finally he's like, oh, I underestimated him. Yeah, you think?
Well,
you would think so after the first time he takes out 4 of your guys.
Yeah. So bathroom explodes. The 4 goons get beat up. Air quote fake car bomb is discovered. And that's when Hennessy gets his wife, and he's like, get all of our guys, and we're going to retreat to the farmhouse. They have a secluded farmhouse that's like their safe haven. And the head goon, I forget his name, it's like, everyone in this movie has the most Irish-ass name. They're some kind of Mick, or a Sean, or a Liam, or a Charlie, or a goddamn, whatever. And they're, he's like, don't worry, sir, you're going to be safe here. And Pierce Brosnan even says, I doubt it. And then his goddamn barn explodes.
Yeah, because he takes out 2 guys. Quan takes out 2 guys. And I love he takes out the first guy and immediately checks his pulse.
Yeah, because
he's like, he's not trying to kill anybody.
And then even when he ties them, he knocks out the 2 guys, ties them up, and then makes sure that they're in an area where they'll be protected from the blast.
Yes.
He's better than they are.
Yeah, he's not a bad guy.
Yeah. He plans on killing people, but he's only going to kill the right people.
The ones he's wanting.
So then we get into this cat and mouse game of Quan is hiding in the woods around the farmhouse, and they're trying to send people after him to flush him out. And that's where I think we get into, like you were saying, the Rambo mode.
Very much Rambo mode.
He's got these woods rigged with Viet Cong style traps.
What side was he on? in Vietnam?
Well, he received United States Special Forces training, so presumably ours.
Yeah.
And it even says, but like any good soldier, you learn from your enemy.
And he learned well.
Because if you don't learn from your enemy, you will lose.
It's that one guy going up for that backpack on the ground, and he steps in the hole, and there's nothing but freaking nails in there. And
Oh, I
goes,
oh.
my foot was like, oh Jesus!
That part got me too because
Yeah.
it's just the spikes through the foot, and you go, oh, my foot. Right? That guy thought the same thing.
I love the part where the guy trips on the wire and hits his head on the wood or rock, and then the blanket of leaves.
The leaf blanket
Comes
like
out.
Jackie Chan's waiting for him under camouflage of this
Yeah.
big tarp that looks like the leaves on the ground. Guy falls, gets knocked out. She just like shifts the blanket or tarp over, and now the guy is hidden. And I'm like, well, they'll never find him.
No.
I hope he wakes up before hypothermia kicks in.
Yeah, that whole part was really cool.
That was cool.
And then he gets shot in the arm or the shoulder or something, and that's when he does the whole. That whole part, including this part, was all Rambo inspired. When he takes the hot knife and cauterizes the wound. And it looks like he's done that a few times based on the scars of his body.
Well, he's also been captured by a number of hostile enemy forces throughout his life, as we learn throughout the movie.
I didn't catch that.
You didn't catch a lot of it.
Well, I am slow on the uptick.
But no, like, because even when he and his wife and the two daughters fled, it was because of invasion. Then the Thai pirates, and then he, military service for the U.S. during Vietnam. He had been captured a couple times, but he cauterizes the wound, causes him to pass out. He hits the ground. He's not quite out yet. The screen is changing between like it's him and kind of like what he's seeing. He's about to lose consciousness, and then we go into the full memory of his flashback. And I actually really like that's how you transition to a flashback. That was cool.
Yeah, that was really well done.
Where we actually see his two daughters
get taken
by pirates. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't see him get killed.
We see him and his wife get shot and fall into the water.
And then he essentially snaps out of it or whatever. But he just presumed. I noticed in the report that Hennessy was reading that he presumed that his daughters were raped and murdered.
Yeah.
I just brought the whole tone down.
Oh, yeah.
God.
You drop the hard R.
Yes.
But it's there.
It is. It was what he thought.
But I think that's also, okay, if we're going to be somber, right, for a minute. You have a man who lost his eldest daughters in the manner in which he did. He only had his wife after that. His wife passes away during childbirth to Fawn. She is everything at this point. She is her own, for him, you've got to imagine, for him, she is her own person. She's also representative of the daughters he's already lost, as well as she kind of represents, and I'm not saying this judgment, I'm trying to think of as a father how I would feel, even if there was nothing that I could have done about it. A failure. As a father, if I lost two daughters, regardless of the circumstance, I would feel like I failed to protect them. That is our role as dads. So I have to project that into this, right? Because watching this, going through this, I feel that way. So I have to assume he feels that way. So she not only represents herself, she represents her sisters. And with the wife gone, he's going to see his wife in her too. He's going to see, I bet she looks just like her mom. Her eyes, her hair, maybe the way she smiles or laughs. Like there's going to be those distinctions, that so she represents everything to him. And then he loses her too. That's it. Gloves are off and the world will burn.
Yeah, he's got nothing left.
And even, when he kicks all this off, he burns all of his mementos, his newspaper clippings, his pictures. He is fully prepared to not come home. Honestly, you might even say he's planning on not coming home.
It's the vibe I got was he's going to see this to somebody's end, either theirs or his.
Or both.
or both.
And if it's both, I think he'd have been just fine with that.
I think so too.
So, yeah, but somber moment, but I think that comes through. I think that all comes through. You were talking about Jackie Chan giving a dull, sad old man performance, and I have to disagree through this whole, every time it comes up, whether when he's really bringing home or when he's really opening up about his emotions, he's got a few crying moments, but he's also playing a character who, whether through his upbringing, through his traditions, maybe it's a personal thing where he does not show many emotions, right? Or maybe at this point he just doesn't let that door open all the way, because with as much loss as he suffered, if that door opens, how does it close, right? How are you not just debilitated, crying on the ground, unable to do anything? And I personally, but I mark these words. I agree with Rolling Stones magazine. I think Jackie Chan does such a phenomenal job in his performance, portraying a man who is carrying unbelievable pain the entire time.
That's why I think they couldn't get away with a lot of the over-the-top cartoony Jackie Chan skills. They definitely had to tone it down a little bit. It just wouldn't have played right. It would have been
No,
it would
not
have been
at
too
all.
weird. They toned it down just enough.
Well, they toned down. It wasn't like Drunken Master where he's getting smashed and then grabbing a fish from the market
Yeah.
stall and wailing on
Yeah.
people. But I think the few fight scenes we get are intense.
They are intense and they're quick
and so good.
and they are so good. I don't think I can ever say I've ever seen a bad Jackie Chan fight scene.
Right.
But his performance, apart from that one moment where he's talking about the loss of his daughters and the loss of his wife, it always felt like he was in zombie mode.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a few moments where it felt like he was just playing the intense revenge. That was his only motivation. It was just the
Right.
revenge. It was just, I don't know. There really wasn't, it didn't feel like there was a whole lot of substance.
See, for me though, I have to disagree. I get what you're saying, but for me, I saw it as like his eyes are so distant,
That is
and
not wrong.
he's not. How do I put this? It's not that he's not present, like he's not in the moment, but his eyes are rarely, when he's in his quiet contemplations, he's never here. He's always looking backward mentally. His eyes show that sad, distant look. His face is sullen. His shoulders are stooped. And it's just, there's so much raw intensity there and emotion, but he's not. It's almost like he's on the verge of emotionally breaking down, and he's doing everything he can to not get to that point because he can't let himself get to that point. There's too much to do.
And you're not, so yeah, I see, like, if he opens that door, then nope.
Oh yeah, then it's over,
Yeah.
right? Because then Hennessy and his men would be able to just follow the screams of a broken man. Not even the cries or the sobs, the screaming of a broken man.
Just follow that river of tears.
Yeah. But going back to Jackie Chan's performance, I think he nails it. I think you use the word zombie, but I'm going to agree with you. But because that's where he's at. If he doesn't maintain his zombie like, because that's where he's just trying to take that next step, literally and figuratively. He's just trying to carry on. But I see it as a positive. I think it's a phenomenal performance.
Okay.
No, it's not okay. It's amazing. You are wrong. You are wrong, and it pains me that you will not admit you are wrong.
You're not the first person in my life to tell me I'm wrong.
You got the ex-wives to prove it. All right. Well, we're obviously getting nowhere here because you're dead inside. So realizing that he needs somebody of equal training to get Quan, he calls his nephew again and prevents him from banging his aunt. Am I wrong?
This poor guy had a full boner and he's on top of his aunt. And this goddamn
Incest adjacent.
this damn uncle calls. Says, "Hey, can you do me a favor?
I need you to do me a solid.
Can
We're so close as relatives.
Can you please pull your penis out of my wife for 2 seconds and come?"
I've got a mouthful of water. And you hit me with, can you pull your penis out of my wife? What the? To be fair, he had no idea that his nephew's penis was in his wife. Or about to be. Excuse me. They don't fully do the deed because it's cock-blocking uncle.
But they've done it before.
Oh, 100%.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. This was not their first time with their adult escapades.
No.
So now Sean, who is he was a member of the Royal,
Didn't you say the army?
is it some kind of Royal Military Irish Division Special Forces, something. And but he's got the skills to hunt Quan down and actually keep up with him in combat. So when Sean arrives and he's like, "Do you want guys to help?" and he's like, "No, he's just gonna get in the way," which is probably true.
Yeah. That was a really good fight, though.
Yeah, so when Sean finally hunts Quan down, and I thought it was cool actually seeing Sean track what had happened through the woods. He found the sticks the guy's foot got impaled on. He was seeing the signs, knowing how to read them, and following this otherwise imperceivable trail that Quan had left, and actually found his little hidey hole. But then he stepped on a stick that triggered other sticks that essentially knocked the gun out of his hand.
Yeah, like a whip.
And then the fight was on.
Yeah. And that was super good.
Okay, so they end up like Jackie Chan scores a cut on Sean, and then Sean returns the favor, and they start brawling, and then Jackie Chan just drop kicks his ass backwards into that tree limb.
Yeah.
Oh, the air got knocked out of me just watching.
The thing I love about watching Jackie Chan fight is he doesn't have a problem losing every once in a while. Not always have the winning move or getting kicked multiple times or, thrown around or whatever. There's a few actors that
Steven Seagal
refuse to lose in a fight
or lose weight. Steven Seagal.
Dwayne Johnson, I'm talking to you.
Wow, I was going for someone everyone universally hates. You're going for the top dog.
I love Dwayne Johnson. I love every movie he's been in except The Tooth Fairy.
Wait, how can you look me dead in the windows of my soul with a straight face and say you love every movie The Rock has done?
I do. I like
most of his filmography are straight stinkers.
Oh, yeah. No, they are.
Okay.
But I like them. And it's mainly because of him. I think
you're the problem.
I am
You are the problem.
I am 100% the problem. I thoroughly enjoyed Black Adam. It wasn't for The Rock's character, but
Pierce Brosnan's character.
But no, he's not. Jackie Chan's not afraid to get his ass kicked here and there, and he kind of does a few times in this fight.
Yeah, but I think Jackie Chan, he's so good at what he does, but he understands what makes a compelling fight scene.
Good story.
If your hero just kicks everyone's ass, no problem, that's boring.
Very. Steven
Seagal. Dwayne Johnson. Also, I can't call him Dwayne Johnson. He's The Rock. As a wrestling fan in the 90s, he's just and forever will be The Rock. Unless you want to call him Rocky Maivia, which I'm also okay with.
Ouch.
Die, Rocky, die, boys. But no, it's boring. But Jackie Chan understands, like, a fight scene is a story in of itself, right? And so it's got to have its highs, it has to have its lows, and you need your moments where your hero is losing. And then when they fire back up and they win the fight, that's exciting. And also when your hero gets beaten down, but he keeps getting back up and he keeps fighting and he keeps kicking ass, then you as the viewer are like, man, that was a tough son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Right? But when you have your hero, it's just like, oh, he kicked that guy's ass. Cool, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and you think The Rock would know this, being a professional wrestler.
Yeah, but other than Steve Austin, who did he sell for?
Triple H.
That's fair. Okay. We're at 2.
This is not a wrestling podcast.
You brought The Rock up.
Damn it, I did. Okay. Anyway,
If you
moving
want
on.
us to start a wrestling podcast as well, or maybe just transition this to a wrestling podcast, you let us know. We have a lot of hot takes on that too. But no, great fight scene. But then Sean ultimately loses and gives Quan the names. Because Hennessy even lets him know, like, one way or another, just in this. I don't care how you do it. Just make him stop blowing shit up. Right? So he's like, either kill him, convince him to stop, or I'm texting you the information he wants to know. Just give it to him. I don't care. Just make him stop blowing shit up.
Tell him to quit fucking with me.
Just make him leave me alone, Sean. I don't want to do this anymore. He tranquilized my dog. That's how you know Quan's the good guy. He sneaks into Hennessy's house to confront him personally. Hennessy has a dog. And the dog's like asleep and not responding to Pierce Brosnan's calls. And then Jackie Chan shows up and whatever. And he's like, you killed my dog. And Jackie Chan goes, dog's fine, only sleeping. So you're like, oh, yeah, it's because he's the good guy.
Yeah.
He didn't kill it. Because if he had killed the dog, instantly everyone hates him.
Yeah, no matter what. No matter what he was fighting for. But don't kill the dog.
No, he tranked the dog.
Yeah.
Dog's fine, only sleeping. Which we find out later, the dog is okay.
So he gets the information.
Yeah.
Then he goes
back to London.
Did he almost screw up and let the bombers win?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost. Well, he would have stopped the bombers ultimately, but the plane bomb would have gone off and killed several members of the British government. In a way, there is a side note to vigilante justice. A lot of times just fucks everything up.
When that scene was taking place and the police SWAT team or whatever was waiting with their bomb around the roof, and they let Jackie beat the shit out of all these guys, kill all these guys.
All but the girl.
And she got shot.
Yeah, she got hit in the shoulder. Or something.
And I'm like, how much more to the left or right? You know, the bomb would have went off, no problem. But they wait and let Jackie do his thing. Smash that flat screen TV on that guy's face.
How
and
great is that?
Wraps around his head. I love that so much. I wrote on here, not the flat screen.
TV down. I want to back up a minute.
Okay.
Hennessy invites the other IRA head, Huey, to his house. They have a little conversation.
Oh, yeah, McGrath.
McGrath
or McGarth?
I think it's McGrath.
I think it's McGarth.
Yes, because you've paid so much attention thus far. You are probably right, because Liam has figured out this motherfucker is the one who's gone behind my back. He caused all these bombings. Because at this point, there was the bank bombing that killed Quan's daughter. There was a London bus bombing. And now they were setting up for the plane bombing. At this point, between wounded and dead, there's over 100 casualties at this point. So when Liam confronts Huey, I wrote here, Huey found out. because he's just like, oh, by the way, I know you're the one. I know you've been lying to me. And he's like, well, you were, a proud IRA member. He's like, yeah, back when we had to fight. Now we don't have to fight. There's other ways. You want me to be the butcher again? I'm like, wait a minute, this guy was known as the butcher at one point? And then he shoots Huey in the kneecap.
Just no hesitation.
No, he just bam. Then Huey said some bullshit, not giving Liam the answers he wants, shoots him in the other knee. And that's when he's like, tell me what I want to know, or I will pick you apart joint by joint. And I went, holy shit, this guy has done this before.
Yes.
This is a scary guy.
This is Liam Neeson.
Liam Hennessy, Pierce Brosnan is finally Liam Neeson. It all came back around. I didn't screw up.
No, you knew what you were doing.
It all comes back around. And then he finally gets all the information he needs. Hennessy does. And he's like, okay, perfect. Bam! just headshots Huey. And I'm like, oh, there we go.
Yeah, takes care of that guy.
Taking care of this internally, as they call it. Now back to what you were talking about. So Quan finds his daughter's killer. Sweet fight scene. Okay, they're having the shootout. They're like, he's behind the little divider wall next to the fridge, and they pull around to shoot in the bottom corner where he's hiding. But he's like a panther up on
He's up on the fridge.
He's up. He's not on the fridge, but he's wedged between the fridge and the wall in the ceiling corner.
That was so cool.
And then he pounces. I'm like, that was the coolest shit ever. Kills 3 out of the 4 guys. The woman gets winged in the shoulder. What's her name? Maggie.
Yeah.
She also has another name.
Sarah
something. But then he gets down to, what was his name? Like Patrick O'Reilly.
Of course.
Again, these Irish names are super Irish.
Of course.
But the one, because he's the one with the burnt hand, he is the one that planted and detonated the bomb that killed his daughter. Doesn't shoot him. Beats him down. Then with like a towel or something, strangles him. Jackie Chan Quan feels the life slowly leave this man's body until it's done. And then he lets go and leaves. And then the SWAT team comes in.
Yeah. But it's just like, how sweet timing. It's like, oh, all 3 of them, all the men are dead.
No.
Go in. And Jackie's like, sneaks out, gets on the elevator with the dog.
Yeah.
And goes.
He's so unassuming. No one's giving him a second look.
Just meek little China person.
Nice save.
Thanks.
You racist. We talked about how they find the bomb in the airport and blah, blah, blah. They tortured the shit out of Maggie.
Oh.
Sarah, whatever her name is. First, they were screaming at her and jamming their fingers in the gun hole.
Yeah.
And then you just see a gun hole. And then you just attic hole, gun hole. Hey, if you put the word hole after something, it's the gun wound. Is that better? Then you just see a guy with a battery and clamps. And he's like, you're going to tell us what we want to know.
I'm going to ask questions.
You're going to
give me answers.
And he tortures Now, we don't see the torturing.
No.
But he tortures the
Oh, yeah. And then
no loose ends.
No loose ends.
The higher ups in this military operation give the command no loose ends. The soldiers in the apartment say understood and put like 3 rifle rounds into her. That's it. No loose ends.
Make sure she's done.
There will be no trial today.
No. Don't waste the taxpayers' money on a trial.
Is it weird I'm okay with this?
No, I'm perfectly fine with it too.
Okay. Yeah, like, oh yeah, we have a known terrorist. I don't care.
After Quan gets out of this mess.
Yeah.
He has the dog.
Mm-hmm.
He ties the dog up to a light pole.
Yeah.
And he gets on the bus. And he's got his little green jacket.
He's got like a raincoat or something on.
And the jacket is the same color as the jacket Rambo wore in First Blood.
You're the only person who not only noticed that, but made that connection.
I seen that, and as soon as I seen it, I was like, that's freaking John Rambo's, not the exact jacket, but it's the exact same color.
I gotta feel like this is a stretch.
Well, no, it's not a stretch. It is the exact same color. I think they're referencing.
And I think that's your stretch.
Yeah,
I think you're stretching.
Maybe. It would be a stretch if it hadn't had all the Rambo stuff earlier.
Jackie Chan gave a bleh performance, but their homages to Rambo First Blood are top notch. Shut up, Tevis.
But the part where he's sitting on the bus, and the blood starts to roll out of his jacket, and he kind of hides his hand over and tries to hide it.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly thought he was dead.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, he's not going to. The bus driver's going to get everybody else off, and then they're going to come up, and he's going to be just slumped over. And I'd have been fine with that ending.
You're a soulless man with no joy in your life. We covered this already.
That's true. But
no, he makes it back home.
Yeah.
And there's one of the people who work in his little restaurant is an older, fetching woman. And she clearly cares for Quan. And to me, it kind of left it up like maybe Quan's able to move on and maybe can, enjoy the company of his friend, and maybe they can get married and just, maybe he can have happiness.
I didn't like that. And then what the camera
is happy.
The guy.
How dare you?
The guy who was watching that one camera that shot into the
Yeah,
kitchen.
where's that camera installed
I
at? How
know.
has no one noticed
Nobody's
it?
ever seen it. And what's this poor guy's job? Just sit here and watch this
Surveillance.
one camera. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is the only camera you got to watch.
Yeah, but he watches surveillance cameras like you watch movies for a podcast. Barely.
Barely. I hit the high notes.
You actually see him take his AirPods out. He's like, oh, holy shit, that guy we're looking for is back. I should probably tell someone.
He puts down his controller for his PlayStation.
I do like how it's like, we'll keep watching Quan, but like, we deserve to let him go. Like, he's been through some shit. And you know what? At the end, Liam Hennessy gets his comeuppance too, because everyone knows he was in line with the terrorists. So bad guy loses, good guy wins.
Yeah, because Quan makes him send that picture.
Yeah, of him kissing the dead terrorist woman.
Yes. So he makes sure that
the
Pierce Brosnan's character kills himself, basically. Ends
That's
his
the
own
problem.
career. Yeah.
Well, because the British government was going to keep that hidden so they could use Liam as a pawn in the system. Quan makes sure, oh no, your whole career is done.
Yep.
Your whole public life is done. And I'm okay with that too. No loose ends. That was my last note on here. No loose ends. That's The Foreigner. Final thoughts.
The only thing I have is the one part we didn't discuss is Sean getting his comeuppance. Not Sean. Sean
Whoa.
got his revenge.
No, I think Sean was the tool. Liam got his revenge.
Sean was definitely a tool, but he eliminated his incestuous booty call.
Incestuous adjacent booty call.
Adjacent booty call.
So yeah, Liam has it because he finds out about the affair. But also, you know, I think I explained to Sean, yeah, your aunt who you've been porking is directly involved with the murder of dozens of people. You want to make it up to me? I need you to take her out. Not like you have been.
Yeah.
He shows up, knocks on her hotel door. She opens. He immediately pulls a silenced pistol and just takes one in the head. And then he just leaves, goes back to New York.
It's great. Great way to end that whole relationship.
Why do I feel like you're talking from the point of view of an ex-husband?
No. So that was The Foreigner.
Once again, final thoughts on Foreigner.
I enjoyed this movie. I wouldn't say I would ever watch it again, but now that I know that I watched it all the way through, it was a good watch. If you are a fan of action movies, definitely give it a shot.
Political thrillers.
Pierce Brosnan.
Shirtless.
Jackie Chan. Shirtless Pierce Brosnan.
Shirtless Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan. Yeah. No, I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I think I will definitely forget it pretty easily.
So good, bad, overrated, underrated, worth the ticket price.
I think it's good. I don't think it's. I just think it's right where it needs to be. Yeah. I would say it's worth the ticket price.
For me, 7 out of 10 IMDb. I feel like that's fair. 66 on Rotten Tomatoes seems low to me. If I'm being honest, I think that's low. I think Jackie Chan gives a career-defining performance as the broken and hurting Quan, despite whatever Tevis garbles out of his gob. Career-defining. Pierce Brosnan, killing it like always. The supporting cast is good. This movie is worth the ticket price. I think it's a little underrated. I'm going there. I'll definitely watch it again.
Okay.
So
would you own it?
I don't have to. It's on. Actually, did I buy it on Amazon? I can't remember if I bought it or rented it.
Hey, if you know Portuguese, you can watch it on YouTube.
Now I have a reason to learn. So, okay, everybody, we're ticket price. This has been The Foreigner. This is normally the part in the show where we pull the name of a movie out of a hat. But if you caught last week's episode, surprise! Next week we are doing The Last Voyage of the Demeter. We're doing a movie from the current year. Holy shit!
Yeah, we stepped out of our comfort zone.
The 80s?
Yeah.
70s?
80s, 70s. Did we do a 90s one yet? I don't think so.
Grumpy Old Men was like 93.
Oh, that's right. It was 93.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So no, join us next week as we touch on The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Super excited about this one. Until then, I am Jake. This has been Tevis. Thank you for listening and have a good one.